Alright, this is for Chapter 2, Lesson 3 on Deductive Reasoning. We have this first property here, the Law of Detachment. And that says that if a conditional is true and its hypothesis is true, then its conclusion is true. So in symbolic form, rather than having to write that whole thing out, we can say if P implies Q is a true statement. So we know that P implies Q, that's true, and P is true, then Q is going to be true. So we can get that from there. So let's take a look then at an example of this, with the law of detachment. An auto mechanic knows that if a car has a dead battery, the car will not start. A mechanic begins work on a car and finds the battery is dead. What conclusion can she make? So I'll give you a second here to think about it. You can pause. And you can take a second to think, what conclusion can she make about the car? Okay, so one conclusion that she can make is that the car won't start. We know that this is a true statement. We know that our true statement is that if a car has a dead battery, the car will not start. That is a true statement. That is a true, going back here to our law of detachment, that is a true conditional. And now we know that the hypothesis is true. The battery is dead. So we know that the hypothesis is true. So therefore, the conclusion must be true, which is that the car will not start. So that's dealing with that. How about this one here? Suppose that a mechanic begins work on a car and finds that the car will not start. Can the mechanic conclude that the car has a dead battery? Explain. So again, I'm going to give you a chance here to think about it just for a moment. Again, you can pause and think about it. Alrighty. So now that you've had a chance to think about it, can you conclude that the mechanic conclude that the car has a dead battery? No, because we know that the car cannot start, but we don't know that the dead battery is the reason for why the car is not starting. There could be a lot of different issues. There could be wiring issues. The car could have no gas. There's all sorts of different reasons for why the car might not start other than just the dead battery. And the difference between these is that the mechanic in this first one knows that if the car has a dead battery, the car won't start. And he works on the car and knows that the battery is dead. We know that first part. We know the battery is dead, and that means that the car will not start. We can't necessarily go the other way around on this. He finds the car can't start. That doesn't mean that the battery is not working. So there could be other things that are wrong with the car. So that's an example here, going back, that is an example of our law of detachment. If the conditional is true and its hypothesis is true, then the conclusion must also be true.